Hello CA final students. This video covers financial reporting November 23 RTP question number 4. It is consolidation of subsidiaries question. It's one of the very important questions in the RTP. It's a lengthy one and have new adjustments. The adjustments actually are familiar to you in other Ind-AS, but not in consolidation chapter. Consolidation scenario you have not tried. So I feel it's a very good question that you should try before your exam. And the answer given in the RTP is also a bit confusing and lengthy. So let's move on to that question. Two balance sheets are given, of course, holding companies and subsidiary companies balance sheets are given. Let's give importance to the additional information. Let's move on to the lecture. Full set balance sheets are figures are given in thousands. Figures are in thousands. Then additional information. So a full set balance sheet of two companies are given. Then additional information. Ishwar Limited investment in Vinayak Limited on 1st April 2011. So whenever dates are given, from the share-based payment itself, I used to say in class, be very clear with the dates. So here, what is the balance sheet date? Balance sheet date means that is the date on which we have to prepare the consolidated financial statement. Consolidated balance sheet, we need to prepare on 31st March 2014. 31st March 2014, we need to prepare consolidated balance sheet. And what is the date of acquisition? Date of acquisition is on 1st April 2011. Okay. So 1st April 2011, Ishwar Limited acquired 400 million shares in Vinayak Limited by means of share exchange of 1 share in Ishwar for every 2 shares acquired in Vinayak Limited. On 1st April 2011, market value of 1 share of Ishwar Limited was ₹7. So 400 million shares acquired out of 400 million means how many lakhs? 4,000 lakhs. 400 million means 4,000 lakhs. 10 lakhs is 1 million. So 4,000 lakhs million shares acquired out of. So 4,000 lakhs out of the figures are in thousands. So out of 5,000 lakhs, yes or no? 4,000 lakh shares out of 5,000 lakh shares. Therefore, what is the percentage of acquisition? Shareholding pattern 80% and NCI 20%. Yes. Then, and what is the purchase consideration you have done? This type of adjustments we have already seen in business combination. Yes. PC, how much you have given? 4,000 lakh shares we acquired, and Vinayak has issued 1 share for every 2 shares held, which means 2,000 shares, 2,000 lakh shares they have issued, and a market value of 1 share is 7. So which means how much is the PC coming to? 4,000, 2,000 into 7. Yes, 14,000 lakhs or 1,400 million, whatever. 14,000 lakhs or 1,400 million. Then this is the PC, purchase consideration. Let's see any other additional PC like a deferred consideration or a contingent consideration they are giving. Time being, in the form of equity shares, this is what they are giving. Okay. Ishwar Limited appointed a professional firm for conducting due diligence for acquisition of Vinayak Limited. Okay. The cost of which amounted to 15 million. And students, please tell me, what is the treatment of this 15 million? At the time of acquisition, if you incur any expenses, what is the treatment? It should be transferred to P&L. Always acquisition related expenses should be transferred to, correct. It should be transferred to P&L. Ishwar Limited included this acquisition cost in carrying amount of investment in Vinayak Limited. Wrong. So investment right, they have taken already 1,400 million is there. 1,400 plus 15. 1,415 million is what they have recorded as the cost of investment, which is wrong. Then
So this should have been adjusted in my P&L. Okay. There has been no change to the carrying amount of P&L of which company? P&L of acquirer. Holding company P&L expense ആയിട്ട് വരേണ്ടതാണ്, which they wrongly included. So കുഴപ്പമില്ല, ഞങ്ങൾ adjust ചെയ്തോളാം. We'll correct it. In which step you will adjust this? Investments are standing maybe at 1415 billion. So deduct 15 from the investment and then deduct this 15 million from step 8. And step 8, it should be adjusted in step 8. Step 8 will deduct. Issue acquirer or holding company P&L is adjusted in step number 8. Okay. Then there has been no change in the carrying amount of the investment in Issuer Limited on balance sheet since 1st April. So investments in Issuer Limited has not changed. On 1st April 2011, the individual financial statements of Vinayak Limited showed the following balances. Vinayak Limited is the acquiring company or subsidiary company. Retained earnings 750 million. Other components of equity 25 million. Okay, why that figures are given? That figures are given for analysis of reserves and surplus. That figures are given specifically for analysis of reserves. Okay. The directors of Ishwar Limited carried out fair value exercise to measure identifiable assets and liabilities. Okay, naturally, in case of a business combination, there will be fair valuation of assets and liabilities. The following matters emerged. So, peacefully, let's read this. What is given? Property having a carrying amount of 800 million. Property having a carrying amount of 800 million, of which land component 350 and building component 450. 350 plus 450 together, 800 million is the carrying amount. Had an estimated fair value of 1000 million. Land component 400 and building component 600. See, can you do this? Because this is a long question which we need to do, try a lot of things. Ippade notebook, can you start writing? Or I am also writing this. Let's do this. First, November 23. RTP November 23. Question number 4. Okay. Steps in consolidation. 1. Date of acquisition. What is the date of acquisition? Date of acquisition is 1st April 2011. Shareholding pattern. Shareholding pattern. We have realized 400 million shares out of 500 million shares. Therefore, shareholding pattern is 80% and NCI 20%. Why in a hurry? Why without finishing the question you are starting the answer? Because revaluation reserves, let's do it right now. Revaluation figures. So analysis of reserve. Analysis of reserve. Analysis of reserve. We always start with our analysis. We always start with revaluation. Revaluation, profit or loss. It can be revaluation, profit or loss. Now, can I ask you, why do we calculate revaluation, profit or loss? Why do we calculate revaluation, profit or loss? We calculate revaluation, profit or loss just to find out opening net assets. Yes or no? Just to find out opening net assets. Opening net assets correct to ensure that the opening net assets are correct. We do this revaluation exercise. Yes, that's what. Additional depreciation, how much? That effect also will calculate. So revaluation profit. So first point. So write down property. or let's specifically write land. Land. What is the revaluation profit on land? Land, 350 and 450 is the carrying value. Estimated fair value 1000. Land 400 and building 600. I need to know how much is for land, how much is for building separately, because for building we need to charge depreciation. For building we need to charge depreciation. So we need to know how much separately. So land 50. Revaluation profit is 50 million. If it is 50 million anengil, million item will write 50 million. Building 600 minus 450. 600 minus 450, 150 million. Then building had an estimated useful life of 30 years from 1st April 2011. So here itself we are calculating additional depreciation. Additional depreciation for building. How much is the additional depreciation for building? 150 million is the profit divided by 30 years. So 5 million is the additional depreciation for 1 year. But be careful, 1st April 2011 is the date of acquisition and 31st March 2014 is the consolidation date, which means how many years additional depreciation we need to calculate? 3 years. So 5 into 3. 15 million is the additional depreciation to be adjusted from retained earnings. Correct. So land, building, 200 million profits. Kind of. Plant and equipment having a carrying amount of 600 million had an estimated fair value of 700 million. Oh, so which means plant and equipment also 100 million profits. This the estimated remaining useful life as on 1st April 2011 was 4 years. None of this plant and equipment had been disposed of between 1st April 11 and 31st March 14. Okay. So which means plant and equipment, plant and or plant. I'm just writing plant. How much is the revaluation profit? 100 million. So additional depreciation comes to additional depreciation 100 million, useful life 4 years, of which 3 years has expired. So 75 million. Okay. Yes, additional depreciation to be adjusted from additional depreciation to be always adjusted from post-acquisition profits. Additional depreciation should be adjusted from the post-acquisition profits. Yes. So is it done? Is it finished? Let me see. On 1st April 2011, the notes to the financial statements of Vinayak Limited disclosed the contingent liability. So increase in the value of assets, net assets increase in the value of liability, net assets should reduce. So there is a contingent liability. It's like a revaluation or pre-acquisition loss. Yes or no? There is a contingent liability in the financial statements of Vinayak. Vinayak means my acquiring company. Acquiring company contingent liability is there. On 1st April, fair value of this contingent liability is 30 million. So what have you studied in business combination in days 103? If there is a contingent liability that has to be taken over to the books of acquirer at fair value, which means you are taking over this 30 million at fair value. Yes. As a result, your net assets should drop, reduce. Yes. The contingency was resolved at the end of 31st March 2012. 1 year later, contingency resolved and no payments were required to be made by Vinayak Limited in this contingent liability. Okay, great. We have studied this in business combination. You take over contingent liability and record at its fair value at every reporting date. If there is a gain or loss in the difference, that difference should be transferred to P&L, which means here what I am supposed to do is for contingent liability is 30 million. So it's a loss. And subsequently, like additional depreciation, subsequently reverse to statement of P&L 30 million. Reverse to statement of P&L 30 million. So now it is like a loss, but subsequently post acquisition it becomes a gain. Yes or no? Post acquisition it becomes a gain. Yes. Fine. Then the fair value adjustments have not been reflected in the individual financial statements. Oh, the fair value adjustments have not been. Of course, the fair value first we are going to reflect it in the consolidated financial statements. It has not reflected in the individual financial statements of Vinayak, that is acquiree company. In the consolidated financial statements, the fair value adjustments will be regarded as temporary difference. In consolidation, you should accept it is correct. We have not done deferred tax adjustment in any of the questions because questions doesn't demand it. Tax rate തരാറില്ല, revaluations ഉണ്ടാവും പക്ഷെ tax rate തരാറില്ല. ബിസിനസ് കോമ്പിനേഷനിൽ ഞങ്ങൾ deferred tax ചെയ്യാറുണ്ട് പക്ഷെ consolidation questions generally വരാറില്ല. So here you have net assets, opening net assets എടുക്കുമ്പോൾ ഇത്രയും assets കൂടി ഒരു contingent liability വന്നു. Along with that you should calculate deferred tax. Come on, tell me, is it a deferred tax asset or deferred tax liability? Deferred tax. When you check the very good, deferred tax liability. Deferred tax liability because 50 plus 150, 200 plus 100, 300 minus 30, 270 million into 20%. Deferred tax liability to be calculated. 270 into 20. 54 million. Yes. 54 million. So how much is the net reacquisition loss? Net revaluation loss. Loss again. Revaluation gain, which is fully pre-acquisition. 270 minus 54, 216. Are you clear? Is it clear? So, നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഒരു പ്രശ്നമില്ല. You can say, oh, I didn't understand. പക്ഷേ അതെന്താന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ we have not tried up to this only. Normally questions ഉണ്ടാവാറുള്ളൂ. This part we have seen in business combinations, but we have not seen in consolidation. That's it. നമ്മൾ കാണാത്തതിന്റെ ഒരു പ്രശ്നമാണ്, but otherwise it's fine. Okay. Now we have a problem. This land, no further adjustment. Correct. For building, additional depreciation would reflect in my post-acquisition retained earnings. Plan 75 will be reflecting in my post-acquisition retained earnings. What about contingent liability? That will be reversed 30 million. What about deferred tax liability? Will it have any impact on my post-acquisition profits? Will this have an impact on post-acquisition profits? What do you think? Post-acquisition profits ഇതിന് എന്തെങ്കിലും ഇമ്പാക്ട് ഉണ്ടാവുമോ? അയ്യോടാ, അങ്ങനെ പറയല്ലേ, നോ പറയല്ലേ. Deferred tax liability once created. See, why did you create deferred tax liability? Because there is profit. In future, you may have that much tax liability. Yes, right? You will be having that much tax liability. So, three profits varan chance under, so that much tax liability would be there. but land onnuilla. But here building 15 million depreciation has been charged. Ipo building 150 million profits illa. Ipo compare cheyanengil 150 million profits undavilla. 15 million depreciation has been charged. Means what? Books depreciation vannittundavu, tax deduction thannittundavilla. Books additional depreciation is there, for which we have not received tax deduction. 75 million depreciation was there in the books out of revaluation. No tax deduction has been received, which means on 15, on 75, we have already paid additional tax. Yes or no? We have already charged. So 15 plus 75. Then what about this 30 million reverse to P&L? It's like an income reverse to P&L. So I'm writing here a note. Deferred tax liability over 3 years have reversed to the extent of 15 plus 75 additional depreciation and 30 in the form of in the nature of income. Therefore 90 expense minus 30 income to the extent of 60 into 20%, 12 million would have reversed. ഒന്നുകൂടെ പറഞ്ഞേ, ഈ എക്സ്പെൻസ് ബുക്സിലുണ്ട്, പക്ഷെ ടാക്സ് ഡിഡക്ഷൻ കിട്ടിയില്ല. I had to pay more tax. 15 plus 75, 90 expense in books. Books expense only. Income tax didn't allow me. So 90, I paid to the extent of 90, I paid more tax. What about that 30? 30 was a contingent liability I recorded like an expense, but finally that is not there in the tax records. Tax records illa in the liability. Finally a liability vanne illa. So books il idoru income aayittu vannu, പക്ഷെ income tax la adu income aano? Books la oru income aanu. Income tax la income aano? Illa, to that extent enki tax അടക്കേണ്ടി വന്നിട്ടില്ല. So net ബുക്സും ടാക്സും തമ്മിലുള്ള ഡിഫറൻസ് എത്ര ഞാൻ എക്സ്ട്രാ ടാക്സ് അടച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടാവും? ഈ കണ്ടിൻജന്റ് ലയബിലിറ്റി കൂടെ ചേർത്തിട്ടാണല്ലോ നിങ്ങൾ ഡെഫേർഡ് ടാക്സ് ലയബിലിറ്റി ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്തത്. I'm sorry, that is reversed to the extent of 12 million. ഇത്രയൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞാൽ മതി. If you have an idea about deferred tax, we have done it. I hope that understanding or that base is enough to understand this. 12 million would have reversed to P&L. Reverse to P&L because additional depreciation reflects in P&L and contingent liability also gets reversed to P&L. So deferred tax, if the transactions and events gets adjusted in the P&L, the deferred tax liability or asset also should be adjusted in the P&L. So to the post acquisition profits, you deduct 15, 75, add 30 and add 12. Deferred tax liability reversal means the entry would have been DTL to P&L. In the final balance sheet, deferred tax liability should appear at 54 minus 12, 42 million. Are you understanding this? If there is a doubt, you please ask. Clear. Very good. Thank you. So this part is very important. നിങ്ങൾ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞോ ഇതിന്റെ ആൻസർ? എവിടെ? We just started step number 3. In step number 3, revaluation. So you can get only this deferred tax adjustment maybe. So be very clear. Okay. എനിക്ക് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ഭയങ്കര ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടു. നല്ല സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് ഒക്കെ വരണം. So that's it. Then next question number, then revaluation കഴിഞ്ഞു. What is my next reserve? Revaluation കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ളൂ. Revaluation impact. Then next, വേറെ reserves എന്തെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടോ balance sheet? Do we have any other reserves? Any other reserve? Let me see. Oh, രണ്ട് reserves ഉണ്ട്. There is retained earnings for subsidiary and other equity, 50,000. Retained earnings, any information? It's given that retained earnings 750 and other components 250. Retained earnings 750. So retained earnings. Retained earnings. Total. So it's all in millions. We have written the previous figures all in millions. So that's also a challenge. നമ്മൾ അറിയാതെ മറന്നു. ഇത് 10,50,000 figures are in thousand, അതായത് 10,50,000 retained earnings. So 10,50,000. ടൈം എടുത്ത് എഴുതിയാൽ മതി. മില്യൻസ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ 10 lakhs ആണ്. So 10 lakhs I closed off. So 1,050 million. See, I'm just telling to avoid confusion. Instead of directly writing 1,050 million, I just wrote it. 1,050. What about opening retained earnings? Opening retained earnings. Opening retained earnings 750. Opening retained earnings 750 million. During 3 years. During 3 years, 300 million. Is there any adjustment? Yes. What are the adjustments? Less additional depreciation. Additional depreciation. Brackets 15 plus 75. 90 additional depreciation. Add reversal of contingent liability. You're all doing that. അല്ലേ? ചെയ്യുമല്ലേ നമ്മളെല്ലാവരും? Reversal of contingent liability 30 million. Reversal of deferred tax liability 210. 210. What is it? 250 million. So this is pre-acquisition and this is post-acquisition. Okay. Okay, it's fine, right? This adjustment I need to be careful about. Yes, very good. Then next, we kind of see what is C? Other equity. Other equity. How much is other equity? Other equity 50,000. Which means I should take, now it's clear, 50 million. Opening balance. What about opening? Opening have they given? Is the paragraph under 25 million. So 25 million pre-acquisition. So post-acquisition for 3 years also 25 million. Okay. So have you finished reading the question? Illa. And our revaluation part and reserves, because it's lengthy, അന്നൊന്ന് ചെയ്തു എന്നേ ഉള്ളൂ. ഇതുവരെ ഇനിയിപ്പോ ഇമ്പയർമെന്റ് ഓഫ് ഗുഡ്വിൽ ആൻഡ് പ്രൊവിഷൻ പാർട്ട് മാത്രമേ വായിക്കാത്തുള്ളൂ. let's do it. Apportionment, let's do apportionment. Step number 4. So analysis is finished. Step number 4. Step 4. Apportionment of profits. Apportionment of profits. Apportionment of profits. So we give 3 columns for apportionment of profits. Why do we give 3 columns? Pre-acquisition, post-acquisition, other equity, post-acquisition, or let's do post-acquisition, retained earnings, post-acquisition, other equity, retained earnings, similar to that of P&L, other equity, general reserve, retained earning reserve. Revaluation reserves. Revaluation reserve. Revaluation reserve. Revaluation reserve. Total revaluation gain we have marked as 216 million. Figures in million. Figures in million. 216. Retained earnings. Retained earnings. 750 pre-acquisition and post-acquisition 252. Retained earnings 252. Other equity 25 million and 25 million. So total. Will you divide pre-acquisition profits? No. We'll not divide pre-acquisition. 216 plus 750 plus 25. 991 million. Why do you identify pre-acquisition? Just to calculate my opening net assets. Oh, very good. 252 and 25. Fine. Then you divide. NCI 20%. And what is the name? Ishwar Limited. Ishwar is my holding company, 80%. So 252 into 20%, 50.4, and 252 into 80%, 201.6. 25 into 20%, 5 and 20. Up to this, are you okay? Yes. Step 5. Step 5. NCI. Fair value of shares of Vinayak. Vinayak. Acquiry company. Acquiry company's fair value is not given. So long as the fair value is not given, we'll calculate opening NCI under what method? Proportionate net assets method. We'll follow proportionate net assets method. So proportionate net assets method, opening NCI, share capital plus pre-acquisition reserves, pre-reserves. So how much is the share capital? Share capital 5 lakhs, 500,000. So you should take only 500 million. Once you did started with million, then it's million. Okay. So 500 million plus pre-acquisition reserves 991 million. So 500 plus 991 is the total total opening net assets. of which what is the share of net non-controlling interest? 298.2. Are you get the same figure? Yes, right? You're getting the same figure. Yes. Okay. Now add what? Not post acquisition retained earnings, post acquisition other equity. Post acquisition retained earnings and other equity we have already calculated 50.4 and 5. 50.4 and 5. So total 298.2 plus 55.3. Then normally in retail NCI, what is the adjustment? What are the extra adjustments that can come? NCI extra adjustments that can come is, so you're like, if dividend paid, less share of dividend already received. If there is impairment loss, share of impairment loss. These are the adjustments that can come. Impairment loss, yes, impairment loss and share of dividend already received. Okay, step 6. Step 6. Step 6. What is step 6? Cost of control. Cost of control. That is computation of goodwill or bargain purchase gain. Computation of goodwill or bargain purchase gain. So what we do? Cost of investment. See, cost of investment. So I'm going to check how much is the cost of investment. How much is cost of investment? Cost of investment I'm checking in Ishwar's book, from the books of Ishwar, asset side, investment, it is 2115 million. Yes or no? 21,15,000, which means 21,15,000 means nothing but 2115 million. But you have calculated that there was information regarding the computation of purchase consideration, and you have calculated that 1,400 million is the purchase consideration, and they have wrongly added 15 million. Yes or no? So what should I do? Should I take 2115 or 1,400? 2115 should I take or 1,400? We should take only 1,400. This could be other investment. Have they specified this is investment in Vinayak? Have they specified that this is investment in Vinayak? No, it's not mentioned investment in Vinayak. So investment includes other investments also. You can cancel only the investments to the extent of 1,415 separately. That correction, rectification of 15 million should be done separately. So what are you saying? So here, cost of investment, Manslaya, have you understood? Should I repeat once more? Is it clear? Come on, guys, so that I can move on with some patience. Okay. So cost of investment, 2115 on the mentioned data. 1415 minus 15. 1,400 million. Add opening NCI. Opening NCI 298.2. 1,400 plus 298.2. 1,698.2 is the opening, it's the purchase consideration plus NCI. Yes. And how much is opening net assets? Opening net assets. Opening net assets is share capital plus pre-acquisition reserves, which we have already calculated. So, share capital plus, calculate 500 plus 991. 500 plus 991, that is 1491. 1698 minus 1491. 207.2. 207.2 is goodwill. Now listen. Now listen. See, this 1,400 million. What is? I mean, we have something to be careful about. In the question, they have given. Listen. Up to this, we have already done. Now, there are two more paragraphs in the question. Impairment, see, as per why 1415 is taken to reduce 15 and not 14. That is, see, listen. Purchase consideration is we acquired. Correct, Suhail, 15 million നമ്മൾ ഡിഡക്ട് ചെയ്യണം. പക്ഷെ അത് ആർക്കാ 15 million സബ്സിഡറി ആണോ ആ എക്സ്പെൻസ് ഇൻകർ ചെയ്തേക്കണേ? Subsidiary അല്ലല്ലോ expense incur ചെയ്തേക്കണത്. Then starting I was telling, it's not the subsidiary who incurred expense, holding company incurred expense. So it is actually holding company ബുക്സിലല്ലേ investment ആ 15 കൂടെ എൻട്രി വന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. Actually, see, just see. ഇവിടെ 400 million. This is for Meenakshi. Okay, 400 million into 1/2 into 7,400 million is the PC. In the form of shares. Then they added 50 million. See, listen, 15 million Issuer Limited included this in the carrying amount of investment, which means they added 1,415 million. Then there could be some other investments, together 2,115 million given in the balance sheet. Okay. So investment to bank, investments to share capital entry, they have already passed. Okay, that is how investment has become 1,415. Now what you should do? P&L to investment entry ആണ് pass ചെയ്യുന്നത്. So investment is 15 million കുറച്ചു. ഇനി step 8 അത് ഞാൻ ചോദിക്കട്ടെ, സുഹേൽ 8 will deduct 15 million. Clear? Now, the impairment actually goodwill. Okay, goodwill. We computed goodwill, or we compute goodwill at the time of business combination. We compute goodwill at the time of business combination. As per Ind AS 36. Actually, in the revision lecture, we have not discussed Ind AS 36. Then impairment, let's take it in 36. So, as per Ind AS 36, goodwill, if they're in the balance sheet, should be tested for annual impairment. If there is a goodwill in the balance sheet, it should be tested for annual impairment. Okay. Ade. And goodwill, you should test for annual impairment. Here, no, 1st April 2011 is the date of acquisition, and 1st April 2011, there is 2,07,200 goodwill. Now, what the question says? No impairment of goodwill on acquisition of Vinayak was evident when the reviews were carried out. So every year end you should test for impairment. So first year end there is no impairment. Second year end there is no impairment. On 31st March 2014, which is the current year, which is the date on which we are preparing consolidated balance sheet, The directors of Ishwar carried out a further review and concluded that recoverable value of net assets of Vinayak at that date is 2000 million. Vinayak Limited is regarded as a single cash generating unit for the purpose of measuring goodwill impairment. So what is the concept? See, in Ind-AS 36, we'll say, this acquirer, Ishwar Limited acquired Vinayak Limited, and Vinayak Limited, you paid extra consideration. Goodwill represents you paid extra PC. Yes or no? Goodwill means you paid extra PC. Why did you pay extra PC? Because you expected more future economic benefits, more efficiency, more performance from the assets of Vinayak. But if it is not performing up to that, then you have to write off that goodwill, because goodwill, otherwise also goodwill is loss. Write off goodwill. So what should I do? Impairment test. So to test impairment, again, as per Ind-AS 36, when you test impairment, you have to check whether goodwill is full goodwill or partial goodwill. To test impairment test ചെയ്യാൻ നിങ്ങൾ നോക്കണം whether the goodwill is full goodwill or partial goodwill. So what do you mean by full goodwill, partial goodwill? Full goodwill means if NCI is measured at, I am writing here, for testing impairment, identify goodwill as full goodwill or partial goodwill. Full goodwill, if NCI measured at fair value at the beginning on the date of acquisition, if NCI, this is partial, if NCI measured at, proportionate net assets. Here you have measured NCI at proportionate net assets. So here goodwill is partial goodwill. What if it is a partial goodwill? If partial goodwill, full goodwill ആണെങ്കിൽ ഒരു confusion ഇല്ല. If partial goodwill grows up, brackets, raise, correct, notional goodwill, and compute impairment loss. This is what I was saying. We'll do this in Ind-AS 36. But we have not done this in consolidation. So then, so what should I do? Partial goodwill. That is parent in the matram goodwill at 80% is 2,07,200. Therefore, add unrecognized goodwill. How much is unrecognized goodwill? We are, for the purpose of computing impairment loss, we are doing this. So 2,07,200 is the goodwill of parent alone, partial goodwill. So how much is the goodwill of NCI? 80 into 20. Is it 51,800? 51. Oh yeah, we should write only 207.2. 207.2. 207.2. 207.2. 207.2. Unrecognized goodwill is 51.8. So total goodwill 259. $259 million. Total goodwill is 259 million. Goodwill. Okay. ഇനി goodwill മാത്രം അറിഞ്ഞാൽ പോരാ. We add goodwill to net assets. Carrying value of net assets. Carrying value of net assets of Vinayak Limited. Oh my God, Vinayak Limited, the carrying value of net assets to calculate here. You need to take all the assets minus liabilities. Let's go for a shortcut. What shortcut? Opening or pre-acquisition profits. Adjustments ഒക്കെ കഴിഞ്ഞ revaluation ഉള്ള adjustments ഒക്കെ കഴിഞ്ഞ pre-acquisition profits എത്രയാണ്? Or pre-acquisition opening net assets. Let's take ഓരോന്നും share capital plus pre-acquisition profits. Opening net assets എത്രയായിരുന്നു? Opening net assets. Corrected opening net assets 1491. Yes or no? Everyone, എനിക്ക് പോകുന്നൊന്നും ഇല്ലല്ലോ അല്ലെ? 1491 was the opening net assets. 1491 is the opening net assets. All of you clear, right? So closing net assets would be 1491 plus add. Come on. ഞാനിങ്ങനെ ഓരോ PP, അതിൽ additional revaluation profits, additional depreciation എല്ലാം 1 by 1 ആയിട്ട് ചെയ്യണ്ടേ? So instead opening net assets plus post-acquisition profits. Post-acquisition profits. How much is post-acquisition profits? Post-acquisition profits 252 and 25. 252. ഇതല്ലേ അപ്പൊ closing net assets വരേണ്ടത്. Logically, if you think closing net assets should be this, right? 1491 plus 252. Study RTP the answer ഭയങ്കര confusing ആണ്. ഇതൊക്കെ full they have calculated again. So 1768 ആണ് carrying value of net assets. Why do you do this? To compute impairment loss. Asset like goodwill add ചെയ്യണം. Goodwill compute ചെയ്തു. Total 100% of goodwill 259. 100% of net assets 1768. 1768 plus 259. 2027. 2027 is the total carrying value plus carrying value of net assets plus goodwill is 2027. Are you all clear? മക്കളെ പറഞ്ഞേ ഇതുവരെ okay ആണ് കേട്ടോ, okay ആണ്. Now recoverable value plus recoverable value comes to, they have given recoverable value is 2000 million. So how much is impairment loss? See this adjustment, otherwise we would have done in Ind AS 36. So 27 on impairment loss. So NCI should not bear impairment loss 100% another. NCI should not bear loss as the goodwill is unrecognized as the about 27 on impairment loss. ഇതുവരെ okay അല്ലേ? 27 2027 ആണ് net assets plus goodwill. 2000 is the recoverable value, 27 is the loss. 27 എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ you are going to adjust. Impairment loss will be first adjusted against goodwill of 259. NCA should not bear the loss as the goodwill of NCA. entire loss is related to goodwill. Goodwill ആണ് first write off ചെയ്യുന്നത്. So NCI should not bear the loss as the goodwill of NCI is notional. Therefore, loss to be borne by parent, loss to be borne by parent. 27 loss of parent bear, 27 into 80%. Aha, very nice. 27 into 80%. 21.6. So ഇവിടെ entry വരേണ്ടത് P&L to goodwill ആണ്. P&L in which step? P&L in which step? Parent ന്റെ അല്ലേ? So P&L in step number 8. Goodwill step number 6. So goodwill നമ്മൾ measure ചെയ്തു 207.2. Therefore goodwill to appear in consolidated balance sheet. Goodwill to appear in consolidated balance sheet. 207.2 minus 21.6. 207.2 minus 21.6. How much? Is it 185.6? 185.6. Okay, good. Next. Do you question? Yes, question. Last one more paragraph. Let's read that and then finish. Provision. This is completely related to India 60. On 1st April 2013, Ishwar Limited completed the construction of a non-current asset with an estimated useful life of 20 years. On 1st April 2013, which means again clarity on the dates. My date of acquisition is 1st April 2011 and consolidation date is 31st March 2014. Now on 1st April 2013, some post-acquisition date, Ishwar completed the construction of a non-current asset with estimated useful life of 20 years. Okay. The cost of construction were recognized in PP and depreciated appropriately. Then what? It is correctly accounted. Ishwar Limited has a legal obligation to restore the site on which non-current asset is located on. Which means, are you talking about provision for dismantling, decommissioning? Yes. 40 years കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടാണ് dismantling വരുന്നത്. Fine. The estimated cost of this restoration work is 125 million. Okay. The directors of Ishwar Limited have made a provision of 6.25. That is 1/20. 125 million in the 20 years on the life of that building. 1/20 on a provision created. Why? An appropriate annual discount rate to be used was 6% and the 1 rupee payable after 20 years. 40 years and 20 years. PV അല്ലേ എടുക്കണ്ടേ? അതെ, yes, PV was to be taken 31.2 പൈസയാണ്. ഇത് 0.312 ആണ് factor. 20 years, 40 years in between I said by mistake 20 years. Prepare consolidated balance sheet. Deferred tax ഒക്കെ ഞങ്ങൾ കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്യും. Now, ഇതെന്താണ് സംഭവം? What is this? ഇത് ഈശ്വർ, ഇത് actually what they are telling, this is with regard to ഇത് holding companyയിലെ ഒരു rectification of error ആണ്. India 16 holding company rectification of error, which has nothing to do with consolidation process, which has nothing to do with consolidation process. Subsidiary consolidate ചെയ്തതിലൊന്നും ചെയ്യാനില്ല. പക്ഷെ holding company has done a mistake. If holding company has done a mistake, holding companyയുടെ items ഞങ്ങൾ എടുക്കുന്ന രണ്ട് steps ഏതൊക്കെയാണ്? In the entire process of consolidation, holding companyയുടെ figures എടുക്കുന്നത് step 8 ഉം step 9 ഉം മാത്രമാണ്. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 എല്ലാം ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണ്ടത് subsidiary consolidation process ആണ് ചെയ്യണത്. Yes or no? Holding companyയിലേക്ക് subsidiary add ചെയ്യേണ്ട steps വരുന്നത് consolidation of reserves and consolidation of balance sheetലാണ്. അപ്പൊ ഇവിടെ holding company ഒരു mistake ചെയ്തു. എന്ത് mistake ആണ് holding company ചെയ്തേക്കുന്നത്? അതായത് provision, നോട്ടിൽ എഴുതിക്കോ, provision required, not working not. Provision for restoration required. Provision for restoration required. How much was the provision for restoration required? 125 million into 0.312 a provision for restoration required. $39. Yes or no? Provision for restoration required, is it 39 or provision for restoration required was 39 million. Have you all done? 39 അല്ലേ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് provision ആയി? അതെ, okay. Provision for restoration required 39. അപ്പോ 39 അത് 1st April ആണ്. Unwinding for 1 year. കാരണം ഇത് 1st April 2013 ആണ്. Now I am standing on 31st March 14. So 39 million plus 6% or 39, 2.34 million. Unwind ചെയ്യണമായിരുന്നു. 2.34 should have been unwinded. So provision required. Provision required at year end. 41.34 million. Provision required. So ഓരോന്നിന്റെയും entry. Here it was asset to provision. This is what required. Asset to provision. Unwinding entry was P&L to provision. Then, as a result, asset is to be additionally depreciated. Asset is to be additionally depreciated. Asset in എത്ര depreciation charge ചെയ്യണം? Asset is to be additionally depreciated to the extent of 2.34. Unwind ചെയ്യണ്ടേ? Yes or no? Asset is to be ഇത് വേണ്ട ഓക്കെ ഒന്നുകൂടെ പറയാം ഇത് provision for required provision for restoration required on 31st required on 1st April 2013 or 23 or അതല്ല ഇത് ഈ amount 39 million was the provision required on which date അവര് മിസ്റ്റേക്കിലാണ് ചെയ്തേക്കണേ there was an error or a mistake which we are going to correct so this was the provision required on which date provision required on 1st April 2013 പക്ഷേ you are standing on 31st March 2014 so 39 million provision create ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ that provision has to be unwinded 6% വെച്ച് ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് unwind ചെയ്യണ്ടേ മനസ്സിലാക്കിയിട്ട് പോയാൽ മതി അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡ് ആയിരുന്നു ഓക്കെ നമുക്ക് നോക്കാം സോ 41.34 ആയിരിക്കും ക്ലോസിംഗ് ഡേറ്റിൽ 1 second closing date provision will be standing at 41.34 and the final balance sheet the provision will be standing at 41.34 are you all clear ഇതുവരെ clear ആണോ അല്ലേ yes എന്ന് ഞാൻ വിചാരിക്കട്ടെ 41.34 then provision required at the year end is 41.34 now as a result asset is to be additionally depreciated to the extent of 39 because asset-ലേക്ക് ഞങ്ങൾ ഈ provision capitalize ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടാവണമായിരുന്നു asset should have been capitalized to the extent of 39 million additionally depreciated 39 million divided by 20 years ഒരു വർഷം കഴിഞ്ഞു so additional depreciation should have been 39 divided by 20 1.95 million asset should have been depreciated to the extent of 1.95 million asset should have been depreciated to the extent of 1.95 million extra okay then yes asset like capitalized here so asset should have been additionally depreciated by 1.95 million so therefore total expense to be recognized in P&L of Ishwar Limited ഈ correction കാരണം എത്രയാണ് expense recognize ചെയ്യേണ്ടത് expense വരുന്നത് because of correction 2.34 million plus 1.95 million books expense ആയിട്ട് വരണമായിരുന്നു 2.34 million plus 1.95 million 4.29 million should have been the expense in the books of Ishwar acquirer holding company the books ഇത്രയും ഇതെന്താ 2.34 unwinding of liability and depreciation of asset total 4.29 million expense ആയിട്ട് വരണമായിരുന്നു expense should have been 4.29 million okay correct ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഇത്രയും expense വരും ആരുടെ ബുക്സിൽ ഈശ്വറിന്റെ ബുക്സിൽ ഇത്രയും എക്സ്പെൻസ് വരും പക്ഷെ ഞങ്ങൾ ഓൾറെഡി ഒരു പ്രൊവിഷൻ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ലേ already a provision has been created legal obligation how much was the provision already created I've made a provision of 6.25 million already provision ആയിട്ട് create ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു which is wrong 6.25 million provision already create ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു അത് ഡിപ്രീഷിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത കാര്യമൊന്നും പറഞ്ഞിട്ടില്ല പ്രൊവിഷൻ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്തേ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട് so what we'll do reverse the provision already created. Reverse the provision already created. If we are reversing the provision already created, provision which we have already created was 6.25 million. So 4.25 million expense ആയിട്ട് വരണം. പക്ഷെ 4.2. 6.25 as a result. Adjustment in P&L. In P&L required 1.96 million. Can you explain once more? Yes. Provision adjustment. I'm ready to explain once more. It's 1.96 million. It's pakka in A16 adjustment, I know, but that is asked in consolidation. So, question there is a provision which they have created in the balance sheet. Asset like capitalized and an expense. I know. Provision for restoration is always to be capitalized. 39 million should have been capitalized. Entry should have been asset to provision and not P&L to provision. Asset to provision varanayirunnu 39 million. Are you clear? Asset to provision entry varanayirunnu. Asset to provision entry should have been passed 39 million. On 1st April 13, reverse എന്താ പറയാ അങ്ങനെ ഒരു provision create ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ provision has to be unwinded. Provision unwind ചെയ്യേണ്ടത് 2.34 million. Yes. Provision unwind ചെയ്യേണ്ടത് 2.34 million. So provision unwind entry is P&L to provision. Then 1.95 million should have been depreciated. Capitalize ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ depreciate ചെയ്യണം. Depreciate ചെയ്യേണ്ട entry എന്താ? നമ്മൾ എന്തായാലും P&L to asset. മനസ്സിലാവുണ്ടോ? P&L to asset. P&L to asset. P&L to asset. P&L to asset entry വരണമായിരുന്നു. So total P&L ലേക്ക് ഒരു 4.29 debit വരണം. And they have already created provision at the end of first year to the extent of 1/28 provision write-off ചെയ്തു എന്നാ പറഞ്ഞേക്കുന്നത്. 1/28 provision write-off ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ P&L to provision 6.25 create ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്, which is not required. അതല്ല treatment. So reverse the provision. So 1.96 million P&L ലേക്ക് add ചെയ്യണം. ഏത് P&L? Step number 8. നല്ല adjustment ആണ്. It's a very good adjustment. Step number 8 like I have to reverse this. I should have a very good authority over the standards. വെറുതെ ചുമ്മാ നോക്കി നടന്നാലൊന്നും കിട്ടില്ല. ഭയങ്കരമായ ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ്മെന്റ് ആൻഡ് അതോറിറ്റി ആണെങ്കിൽ പെട്ടെന്ന് ഭയങ്കര ഇഷ്ടത്തോടെ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. 1.96 million has to be reversed. Guys, are you clear? ഒന്നുകൂടെ പറയണോ ഇത്? അവരൊരു മിസ്റ്റേക്ക് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. We need to rectify it. They have done a mistake which we need to rectify. Thank you. Clear. അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ last step, step number 8. Step 8. Consolidation of reserves. Before the balance sheet, consolidation of reserves. Consolidation of reserves. Consolidation of reserves. Consolidation of reserves. ഞങ്ങൾ നോക്കാണ് എന്തൊക്കെ ഐറ്റംസ് ഉണ്ട് ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഹോൾഡിംഗ് കമ്പനി വിനായക് ലിമിറ്റഡ് എന്തൊക്കെ ഐറ്റംസ് ഉണ്ട് റിസർവ്സ്? 2865 million, 1250 million. ഫസ്റ്റ് സാധാരണ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസിൽ എപ്പോഴും അതർ ഇക്വിറ്റി ഫസ്റ്റ് റീറ്റെയിൻഡ് ആണ്, അങ്ങനെയാണ്. ബട്ട് ഹിയർ ഈ ഓർഡറിൽ തന്നെ. സോ ബാലൻസ് ഓഫ് Vinayak Limited. Balance of Vinayak Limited. What are the balances of Vinayak Limited? 2865 million and question in the will take 2865 and 1250. 2865 1250. 1250. Then add share from, always our step is add share. You balance of issue. Sorry. Holding company very Ishwar. Sorry. Share from Vinayak. Add share from Vinayak. What is the share from Vinayak? Step 4. Just go to step 4. We have identified. Step 4. 201.6 and 20. 201.6, 20. 201.6 and 20. Then remember the adjustments. Go through less impairment of goodwill, 21.6. And like impairment of goodwill was 21.6. Okay. Other equity retained earnings. Then less starting acquisition cost. So this is a part of rectification. The rectification. Yes. Then another rectification. Add adjustment of provision. Provision adjust ചെയ്തപ്പോൾ add ചെയ്യണം. എത്രയാണ് add ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്? 1.96. Add acquisition cost. സാധാരണ ഇത്രയും സ്റ്റെപ്സേ വരാറുള്ളൂ. ഇവിടെ ഇമ്പയർമെന്റ് ഓഫ് ഗുഡ്വിൽ ഉണ്ട്, 2 കറക്ഷൻസ് ഉണ്ട്. സോ വാട്ട് ഇസ് ദ ടോട്ടൽ? $3031.96. 3031.96 and 3031.96 is the 1276. The total other equity. Here itself I am taking 4301.96. Other equity. Okay. Let's see നമുക്ക് ഇത്രയും ലെങ്തി ക്വസ്റ്റൻ ഒന്നും വരരുത്. വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇത് മാത്രം ചെയ്യാനേ സമയം ഉണ്ടാവുള്ളൂ അല്ലെ? With the guidance we have taken now almost 1.5 hours. ഇതെല്ലാം കൂടി ഒന്നും വരില്ല. പക്ഷെ they may pick adjustments ഉണ്ടാവും. ഇത്രയും ലെങ്തി ആയിട്ടൊന്നും വരില്ല. Adjustments they can pick and ask. So can I move on? Shall we prepare the final consolidated balance sheet? So much to remember when we prepare consolidated balance sheet. I'm doing it here. So much to remember when preparing consolidated balance sheet. And that is so much to remember. So you write the figures one by one. I'm just the calculations change. I'm just doing the calculations here. PP and the calculation. PP first let's add these two. Let's add these two. Or then നമുക്ക് the answer വെച്ചങ്ങ് ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്താലോ?
മിസ് നമ്മള് ഒരു ഡൗട്ട് ചോദിച്ചോട്ടെ? മിസ് ഈ പ്രൊവിഷൻ ഇടുമ്പം അസറ്റ് അക്കൗണ്ട് അറ്റർ ടു പ്രൊവിഷൻ വരുന്നോണ്ടല്ല അഡീഷണൽ ഡിപ്രീസിയേഷൻ ചാർജ് ചെയ്യുന്നേ? അല്ല അപ്പം അവർ ഓൾറെഡി ചാർജ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്ന പ്രൊവിഷൻ 6.25ന്റെ ഡിപ്രീസിയേഷൻ വന്നിട്ടുണ്ടാവില്ലേ?
20 has been റിട്ടേൺ ഇത് ചെയ്തേക്കുന്ന എന്തായാലും മിസ്റ്റേക്ക് അല്ലേ? അത് അസറ്റിലേക്ക് ക്യാപിറ്റലൈസ് ചെയ്തതായിട്ടൊന്നും പറഞ്ഞിട്ടില്ല. ജസ്റ്റ് ഒരു പ്രൊവിഷൻ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്തു എന്നേ തന്നിട്ടുള്ളൂ. വിച്ച് ഷുഡ് ക്യാപിറ്റലൈസ്ഡ്.
ഓക്കെ, അപ്പൊ അതുകൊണ്ട് നമ്മള് കറക്റ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള പ്രൊവിഷൻ ഇട്ട് അതിന് മാത്രം ഡിപ്രീസിയേഷൻ കാണും.
അതെ, അതായത് ശരിക്കും അവര് പ്രൊവിഷൻ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്തു എന്നേ തന്നിട്ടുള്ളൂ. പ്രൊവിഷൻ ക്യാപിറ്റലൈസ് ചെയ്ത് അൺവൈൻഡ് ചെയ്തു എന്നൊന്നും ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ ഇല്ല. അപ്പൊ ഫസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് പ്രൊവിഷൻ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്തു. P&L ടു പ്രൊവിഷൻ ആയിരിക്കും ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്തേക്കണം. 1/20 ആണ് റൈറ്റ് പ്രൊവിഷൻ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്തേക്കണം. സോ ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് നോട്ട്, ദിസ് ഷുഡ് ഹാവ് ബീൻ ദ കറക്റ്റഡ് ട്രീറ്റ്മെന്റ് എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ അഡ്ജസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യും.
ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ.
Oh. So here PP. PP, what should I do? PP ഇവിടെ രണ്ടും കൂടെ ആഡ് ചെയ്തു. രണ്ട് PPയും കൂടെ ആഡ് ചെയ്തു. ഈ PPയിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും അഡ്ജസ്റ്റ്മെന്റ് വരാനുണ്ടോ? ഈ ഹോൾഡിംഗ് കമ്പനിയുടെ PPയിൽ ജനറലി അഡ്ജസ്റ്റ്മെന്റ്സ് ഒന്നും വരാനില്ല. ബട്ട് ഹിയർ ഈ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ എന്തെങ്കിലും അഡ്ജസ്റ്റ്മെന്റ് വരാനുണ്ടോ? ഉണ്ട്. ഇവിടെ ഒരു 39,000 ക്യാപിറ്റലൈസും ചെയ്യണം. അതിന്റെ അഡീഷണൽ ഡിപ്രിസിയേഷൻ 39. ഇത് നമ്മൾ മില്യൺസിലാണ് എഴുതണമെങ്കിൽ what we should do, 39 capitalize ചെയ്ത് അതിന്റെ additional depreciation 1.95 should have been written off. Yes or no? Here. Then ഇവിടെ 1850 എന്താ? നമുക്ക് revaluation of assets ഉണ്ടല്ലോ. Revaluation of land, building, plan. ഇത്രയും assetsന്റെ revaluation ഉണ്ട്. So that I think I'll discuss with the answer. I mean, our calculation. ഇനി അത് ചെയ്ത് we need not spend too much of time. Calculations. ഇതേതാ question number 4 അല്ലേ? ഒന്ന് കണ്ടിട്ട് പോയിക്കോ. ഒന്ന് കണ്ടിട്ട് you can read. So what they have done. Balance sheet. Consolidated balance sheet of Ishwar. 2620 plus 1850 total. ഇത് balance sheet ഉള്ള figures. Plus revaluation profit of land and building 50 million, 150 million. Minus adinda additional depreciation. Revaluation profit of plant and equipment minus additional depreciation. And 39,000 provision minus additional depreciation. So total. Are you clear? Yes. നമ്മൾ ഇനി കാൽക്കുലേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് സമയം കളയണ്ടല്ലോ എന്ന് വിചാരിച്ച് മാത്രമായി ടേക്ക് ടു ദിസ് കേട്ടോ. ഇനി കാരണം ഇതൊന്നും ഈസി ആണത്. നൗ ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ്മെന്റ് ഓൾറെഡി ഹോൾഡിംഗ് കമ്പനിയുടെ ബാലൻസ് ഷീറ്റ് ഒരു ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ്മെന്റ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു 2150, ഓഫ് വിച്ച് 1400 really cancelled, investment in subsidiary cancelled, and 15,000 acquisition cost cancelled. Okay. Goodwill 185,600. We would have calculated 185.6. And the answer I had to check it. After impairment loss 207.2 minus 21.6. Then 185.6. Yes. Inventories, no adjustment, just add together. There is no URP. Trade receivables, there is no mutual owings. Cash and cash equivalents, just add together. Oh, Samadhan. Then equity and liabilities, whatever it is, share capital is always share capital of holding company. Retained earnings and other equity, this total we have already calculated. Just check with, verify with your step number 8. These figures are from step number 8. These figures directly took from balance sheet. Then so this we took from balance sheet. This to step number 8. This from step number 5. Provision. There is a non-current provision 41.34. 39,000 plus unwinding. 41.34. Okay. Then long-term borrowing, just balance sheet, line by line addition. Deferred tax, already all the deferred tax, like already balance sheet the deferred tax under plus 42. 42. Yeah, 54 was the operating deferred tax liability and we reversed 12 lakhs of 42. Okay. Then trade payables, just add together. Trade payables, just add together. Short-term borrowings, just add together. Balance sheet will be tallied. So genuinely, we don't expect a question like this for our exam because it will take almost 2 hours. Here we have taken 1.5 hours means ഇത് full ചെയ്ത് കഴിയാൻ 2 hours plus എടുക്കും. So we'll not get, but a bit of adjustments from this question can be asked. So നമ്മൾ prepared ആയിരിക്കും. Are you okay? സ്മാർട്ട് ആയിട്ടൊന്ന് ഫിനിഷ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി ഇത് ഞാൻ ചെയ്യാതിരുന്നത്, because otherwise it will take too much of our time. Are you clear? Is there a doubt? That doubt was good, which Tabarna has asked. അതായത് 6250 capitalize ചെയ്യുമായിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ 39,000 minus 6250 മാത്രം അഡീഷണലി ക്യാപിറ്റലൈസ് ചെയ്താൽ മതി, മൈനസ് അതിന്റെ അഡീഷണൽ ഡിപ്രിസിയേഷനും. പക്ഷെ അവര് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ ഇല്ല. അവരത് പ്രൊവിഷൻ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്തു, ബൈ 20 റൈറ്റ് ഓഫ് ചെയ്തു എന്നുള്ള ഒരു സെറ്റ് ഓഫ് ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ കാരണം P&L അത് അങ്ങനെയാണ് നമ്മുടെ ആൻസറിലും ഡൺ. Then one more thing, the answer if you try to go through, you will not understand. ഭയങ്കര ലെങ്തി ആയിട്ടും കുറച്ച് നമ്മൾ യൂഷ്വലി ചെയ്യണ പോലെ അല്ല. So that is why I made you write. Can I assume it is clear? Yes. So we'll go for the break. So this is the best, I mean, one of the best questions in our RTP. Otherwise, എല്ലാം all similar കണ്ട പോലത്തെ questions ആണ്, or കുറച്ചുകൂടി easier version ആണ്. But that's it. We'll meet after the break.